Welcome to Real Life with Jenny. My name's Jenny Senapitaratna. Grab your favorite drink, get yourself a snack, and we will get started. Today I have Irish breakfast tea. I have this because I sold an advent calendar full of tea this year, and I put all my favorite teas in there with a couple that I really wanted to try, and I did not save one for myself. I did not save a tea calendar for myself. So now I'm feeling sad, and I have given away all my tea. And so now I was like, I really want to try some of the ones that I put in there. So I got myself some English breakfast tea. And I know, you have no idea what this is. This is a homemade popcorn ball. My grandmother used to make these by the bucket. This is orange flavored. It is not good for you. It is not healthy. It is delightful. And I remember as a kid, my grandmother would make these big, ginormous things full of popcorn balls, all flavors. Well, she did raspberry, strawberry, and orange. And my brother and I would eat them like they meant, we would just like inhale them. They were just fabulous. And now that I make them, they've become really precious because they are very difficult and time consuming because you gotta make the syrup, put them over popcorn, put them in balls, it's a whole thing. And every recipe doesn't make that many. So now they're kind of a precious commodity, but here I am sharing it with you. You're not able to eat one, but I'll eat one later. Anyway, let's get real. That was a lot of snacks and drinks today, but that's okay. You know what? That's kind of where my head is. I am definitely in the downward slope towards 2026 going, am I on vacation yet? Like, is this happening? But that's okay. Not today. We're working and we're trying to get some stuff done. I don't know how well that's going. But I have been a pastor almost for a year now. And I have been married to a person who teaches on prayer across the country we've been married for coming soon 29 years. Like in a couple weeks here, we're at our 29th anniversary. And he teaches on prayer all over the world. And I had an aha moment. You know, you just have one of those moments that God just comes and like taps you on the shoulder and goes, hey, I have something to tell you, a truth that has not been truth in your life. And so I want to talk a little bit about that because I am a person that believes in prayer. I love prayer. It's something that is part of my daily life. I have what my husband calls set times. I have stolen times, which are just, quick moments with God, just saying, hey, Lord, I need you right now kind of moments. Seeing special numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. I pray for a special family that I've been praying for since they were little. And now the boys have gotten big and I still pray for them every time I see 1, 2, 3, 4. So anytime I see like number combinations, I just steal some time with God. And my husband teaches on prayer, and I just did not realize that some things had crept into my heart and had become truth. So this year really has been about shining the truth of the Lord onto lies in my life. So I'm walking along on one of my walks. I haven't walked in a week because it's snowy and cold. And I thought I could be tough enough to do this. And let's just be honest, it's not working. That's okay. I'm still a good person. I'm trying to convince myself of that. But I'm on this walk and I am just worried about something that is so minute and ridiculous. I'm not even going to mention it here because it was rather embarrassing. And so I was just praying to the Lord, Lord, I really need you. I need your intervention in this area. I need you. It is something that I'm stressed about. And then I was like, Lord, but I need you to not tell all of heaven this. And I just kind of stopped there for a second. I remember exactly where I was on this walk and my dog was, chugging along and I stopped and he was like, what's happening? Why are we stopping? And I just took a moment and I went, what thought process is that? And I realized that I have this unbeknownst to me thought process that every prayer that I pray is broadcast in heaven. there's like a little ticker machine that says Jenny asked for, Rahab asked for, Ty asked for, like all of her prayers are like on a ticker board and everybody can see them, and it's just a public knowledge kind of situation. I don't know why I have this belief. And I stood there and I was like, Lord, this needs to be between the two of us. And he was like, I heard just a couple words, Jenny, I'm not a gossip. And I was like, okay, I know that. Like, yeah, of course you're not a gossip. Like, I would never call God a gossip. Like, right? Like, I'm not that foolish. But really, that was my belief. Like, I had this thought that what I was praying would be broadcast and that it wasn't something that was just between God and I. And I often think, well, I don't want to bother him with that because, there are bigger fish out there. Like, he is trying to deal with world peace. He is trying to deal with people's salvation. He does not need to worry about my hangnail. I just don't really need to bring that to him. And in that moment when God said, I'm not a gossip, really what I realized is that God is someone in my life that is not like people. He is not, when we talk about unconditional love, it's really hard for us to understand that because we don't have unconditional love here on earth. We just don't. We say that parents are unconditional love, but there's so many people out there that that's not the truth, that that's not what they've experienced. And so it's hard for us to understand. And I think that's the same with our prayer requests is, yes, you're always I remember teachers saying, it's okay to ask questions. Like, we want you to ask everything. And then they'd be like, could you stop asking questions? You've asked your lot for the day. You know what I mean? Like that moment that you're like, oh, now I'm a bother. Now I've stepped over some kind of invisible line that I didn't know was there, and I can't ask anymore. I've asked my quota for the day. I'll have to start over tomorrow and make a priority list of what I want or what I need or the answers that I need. And we have translated that into God. We have translated I'm going to tell my best friend something because I really need prayer for it. Like, it is something that I'm stressed about. I'm not going to tell anyone else. And all of a sudden you find out that they've told 4 other people. And not because that they're trying to gossip. I don't have friends like that. But because they were concerned. And they were like, hey, you need to be praying for Jenny too. And that we've translated our earthly relationships into our godly relationships. And that I have allowed different people's humor or teaching to really impact what I bring to the Lord. And I just wanted to come on today and say, you serve a God who's not a gossip, who's not going to go around and be like, hey, Mark, come on over here. Let me tell you about what Jenny said today. It is hilarious. You are going to enjoy this one. He is not up there so is someone that's trying to smite us and send down lightning and try to catch us in the act. We have this fear that God is up there going, oh, I can't wait till they mess up. That's not who God is. God wants good things for us. And I said that last week, and I think I'm just kind of still processing it because it has been such a huge shift for me and a hard shift. Honestly, I said, I feel like this shouldn't be that hard to go unconditional love. I can ask anything. I can bring anything to the Lord. And he's going to listen and answer. He may not always say yes. Because a no most of the time from the Lord is see, I just did it there. A no from the Lord is in our best interest. God is not going to say yes to something that's not in our best interest. He's going to say no to it. He's going to say wait because the timing is not right. He is going to have you not hear anything because you still have to sit in his presence and wait for the answer. It is so hard because it's something we don't understand. It's something we do not have. I can't be like, oh, if you look at this, this is what it's like. Unconditional love is Yes, our mothers and our fathers are people that love us unconditionally until we annoy them so much that they're like, please go play in the other room. And I know that that's not who God is. I know that. But I'm trying to get that in my heart. I'm trying to understand that in my heart. That God's not a God who's going to go out and gossip about you. He's not someone that's going to say you've hit your quota of questions, or you've hit your quota of prayer requests for the day, or you've been, you know what, you brought up so-and-so to me before. I've hit my quota of how many prayer requests you can have today, Jenny. That's not how he works. 11 p.m. something happens, and I have spent the entire day praying for a girlfriend who's walking through something that I can't understand, but God does. And 11 p.m. happens. God doesn't go, yeah, I'm a little tired. Can we talk about this tomorrow? That's not the God we serve. The God we serve is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Like, he does not change. The God who walked in the garden with Adam and Eve and made everything is the same God that we get to pray to. The God who helped David take down Goliath with a single stone is the God we get to go to and say, Lord, I am stressed. The God who helped Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego when they were thrown into the fire doesn't go, well, you know what, it's not hot enough yet. I'll deal with it when it gets hot. No, he is there with us the entire way. He didn't show up in Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego's life in the middle of the fire. He was there through the whole thing and there afterwards. And so I just want to encourage you, whatever you're walking through, big or little, that God is there for you. He wants to walk through it with you if you will bring it to him. Will you, once again, take it to the Lord? Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Will you step in and say, you know what, God? I don't see the examples in our world of who you are, but I'm going to trust you anyway. And I'm going to step in and say, I trust you not to tell anybody this. And I know you can see it anyway, but Lord, this is my heart. These are my heart's cries. And if I told anybody else, I'd be so embarrassed, but I trust you. Well, that's all I have for you this week. You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook. You can also support this podcast by going to buymeacoffee.com. It's in the link below. You can also go to christconnection.cc/Jenny. All of my info is there. But most importantly, know that God is a God who is not going to turn you away because you ask too many questions or bring too many requests or you're too depressed, and he wants you to be happy, and he'll talk to you when he's happy. You know those people? They're like, oh, you're not really that funny today, Jenny. I get that a lot. Like, you know, it was really nice hanging out with you, but you weren't super fun today. And you're like, oh, I have to perform and I have to be something different. But with the Lord, you don't. The Lord, you can just go to him and be real and be honest and know that he's going to accept you for where you are and love you and bring good things to you. You guys have a great week.